You're listening to another episode of the Anna Vivo podcast. Thank you for your time.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing it live. Not technically. Not like last week's. Last week's was live. This week's is actually pre-recorded. Back on track. Motivated. Situated. And prepared. Coming to you from the home studio here on beautiful Woodby Island. And today I'm joined by none other than Sizzly Steve.
What it do?
What it do? And I have to tell you, dear listener, that he is looking more and more sizzly the longer he continues.
I'm donating my hair soon. So
yes, he's
soon as in a year and a half.
What is soon? Yeah, okay. he's officially received his man bun. It's long enough for that now. And he's donating it to Wigs for Kids, which is what my daughter donated her hair to this year.
We've learned to avoid Locks for Love because anything less than 12 inches, they sell for themselves and they keep the profits.
Yeah, Locks for Love is a highly marketed for-profit company. Wigs for Kids, nonprofit, will donate that amount and make it into, and it's all basically free. So that's what my daughter did. That's what you're doing, apparently.
I look homeless right now is what he's trying to say.
You look sizzly. So, and he's got now this really cool beanie that matches his beard that's got a really cute looking octopus on the side of it. Tell me more about that logo.
This is from, I forgot the name of the
Curiosity Box.
Curiosity Box, which is Michael Stevens, a hilarious YouTuber who is very smart. Sells a curiosity box, which every quarter of the year, so every 4 months.
It's only 3 months. Every 3 months? Not every third.
Quarter.
Yeah, so every 3 months.
Oh my goodness. How many quarters are in a dollar, do you think?
Oh no, Steve.
4.
Oh no.
So not 3.
Oh no.
So when you do 12. Yes, okay. It's every quarter. It's
Which is every
3 months.
3 months. Okay. Oh, no.
Yes.
So every 3 months.
But there's 4 of them a year.
Yes, there are 4 quarters. That's how.
Let's continue.
Quarters.
Let's just get out of this.
Okay, so he sells this curiosity box every 3 months.
Curiosity box, brand new stuff in it, every single box. This box was, one of the items was the world's hottest beanie, which is, if you were to look at an object in the universe, the universe's hottest object, it starts at red, then goes to yellow or orange, yellow, white.
White hot.
White hot.
Yeah.
And, Duke's getting excited there.
Oh.
And then it goes to light blue,
like
purple.
UV kind of.
Yep.
Or
and then it becomes this color, which is what would you say this
I would
color
call
is?
your beanie periwinkle.
Periwinkle. So that's the world's hottest color, the universe's hottest color.
Wow.
So
cool. Yeah, so he's repping the sweet beanie. This is not a promoted episode of Curiosity Box, but apparently all the stuff you got from them was really good. So if there's
really good stuff, and it's unique every single time.
And you got this really cool water bottle that has all these cool facts on the side. So I guess moral of the story here is if you're going to subscribe to something and give somebody your money every quarter, in this case, Curiosity Box would be
a great subscription.
A great subscription.
Yeah, $60 a box.
And I need to get like some sort of promo link that I need to advertise here.
Yes, we should get a referral link
to do that. But anyway, so that is so Sizzly Steve. He's here in the studio with us live today, and
looking homeless and looking with a hot beanie.
And with a hot beanie and repping the hairdo for a good cause. So today is Monday, January 15th, and it is known nationally as the Martin Luther King Day. and we celebrate this holiday. And today we are going to be celebrating the holiday by going over to some friends' house for a massive bonfire and lunch, and it's a Christian celebration. So we're going to have a biblical message there, and then also have a really cool story about Martin Luther King, and celebrate the cause for equality and freedom, and the fight to bring everybody an equitable place in life for minorities, and for trying to end the racism here. And so what I wanted to talk about today are just some highlights of Martin Luther King himself, and then also this holiday. Why do we celebrate this in America? I think it's important, it's always important to look back on our history, good or bad, our own personal history in our lives, and also the history of our country, or the history of our company, or the history of whatever, and look back on it and learn from those things. And so today we're honoring the man, Martin Luther King, but we're also honoring, I'm honoring God through this, in that he created man and women, and he created us all equal, of all colors and styles, and so there's a underlying tone of equity here, that equality here, that I can appreciate, and that we appreciate and support. So what makes our nation unique and beautiful are the freedoms that we have through the diversity of our strengths and our people. And back then, in this case, in the 60s, particularly, and obviously earlier than that, and still today, but in this time, it was rampant. We were coming out of the World War II had ended. We were going into the Cold War. A lot of superstition, suspicion on communism and the threat overseas, but also a lot of boldness on the behalf of minorities, as they have just realized, hey, we just helped this whole nation come out of these great conflicts. We need a stage. We need rights. We need to be treated equally and honored and respected in all of these different ways. And so there was just a really awesome movement and boldness that would not be put down. And one of the things that I can appreciate from this is the underlying truth, again, back to the point of treating people with respect, and recognizing that God made us all equal, not one color or one style above or below another. So, Stephen, any interesting facts or things about Martin Luther King himself, or about the holiday, that you would like to share today?
I think that he would be absolutely disgusted with our nation today.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, he is all about, if you look at the time that he became popular, it is not a time where African Americans are popular.
Mm. You mean today or back then?
Back then.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he became a voice for the nation, despite everybody being so segregated and separated, is, something God could only do.
Yeah.
But
right.
He would be disgusted with our nation today, because we're in the exact same situation where we are so divided, and politically and spiritually and whatever else you want to say about our nation. We need another Martin Luther King today to reunite our country, because that is what our country is aiming towards, is a more division. I don't know how to say that, but exactly what he was fighting for back then is what we need to be fighting for today. Is people are just cancel culture, and we don't like you, and your views are wrong.
Yeah.
And then Martin Luther came in and said stuff like, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. So you're not like fighting fire with fire.
Right. He was very nonviolent in his approach to rally people around him and demonstrate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. He was assassinated 1968, and it wasn't until almost 20 years later that President Ronald Reagan signed this holiday into effect in 1983. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in the late 20s, 1929, and so he kind of grew up through all this, right? He grew up through World War II, and then into the Cold War era, and now he's assassinated in 1968 as he's kind of at the height of this cause, which really only, his whole, like you said, this whole movement had been violent in nature by and large. Of course, there was violence on all
His
sides.
movement,
His
yeah.
movement, yeah. But then he's assassinated, and then it's just that's the jolt of energy that people needed and rallied to his cause. And so now we have streets named after him, and we've got all sorts of different things to celebrate. And so what is a big takeaway for folks celebrating today? What would you say is important about remembering this day? Not just a day off of work and a day off that we get to sleep in, but a day to pay homage to fill in the blank.
I would say it's a day to pay homage to being an American and putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
Yeah.
And so what he was growing up through and what he was going through was like Brown versus the Board of Education.
Yeah.
Which is a very popular case about segregation in schools. And he was living through the Jim Crow laws.
Yeah. Right.
And discrimination, violence, and everything else like that. And he was fighting that day after day in a nonviolent, putting himself in other people's shoes type of way versus what we're seeing today, which is like just canceled.
It's all about me. It's all about my way.
Exactly.
On the highway.
Yeah.
Me, monster. Yeah. Well, and today, Monday, particularly the year after his death, they celebrated. It was a national. The posters everywhere. National Blacks Take Off Work Day on the a year after. So they celebrated that. I think it was April 4th, 1969, and that's kind of where we get the Monday Take Off Work Day to celebrate. But they used it in a form of, at the time, a form of protest. Hey, we're all taking off work. See what it's like, America, for all of us black people to take off work and see if you really don't care about us or need us or whatever. And that was kind of again, back to the nonviolent way. Was just a fantastic wake up call of like, these people need to be respected. There's, obviously a lot of value brought into this and kind of an eye opening thing, which I think helped open people's eyes who were very against this equality in the beginning. So, it's been interesting to see, and it's been really cool. We're both millennials, start and end of the millennial generation here, and so, like you said, it's been interesting to watch the culture kind of hijack this and turning it into a me movement as opposed to an us movement, and so I think today for our listeners, just a good thing to remember is, one, enjoy your holiday, have some good food and fellowship with friends, but two, remember that today we are celebrating someone who stood for the equality of mankind, for the equality of womankind, for the equality of people. And regardless of where you came from or what your color was, and that we all deserve respect, we all deserve to be treated equal, and so I think there's something missing in our society and the world today as we see all over social media. It's just too easy to hide behind things and be snarky and evil and selfish. And so take today to remember to love one another, donate some cookies to your neighbor, meet your neighbor, how many people actually know your neighbors anymore? Use this time to just love on the people around you and in your sphere. So, anything else you want to wrap this up with?
Oh yeah, just it's so easy to be caught in our own way of thinking, and so when someone contradicts our way of thinking, we just turn off our ears and say, "Nope, I don't believe that. I don't agree with that." I would say take today to open up your ears and say, "You know what? Let's see where they're coming from."
Yeah.
And even if you don't believe what they believe, you can learn something from it, and you can find common ground, and you can become friends over that.
Right.
And I think that's what our country needs.
At the very least, respect one another, if not friendship.
Exactly. Yeah, you can find some way to be civil and a human to another human.
Yeah.
As opposed to
civil.
an enemy.
That is a good word to end on. The civil rights movement, civility that is lost in today's interaction with people, and just being civil. If you don't know that definition, the definition of that word, go look it up and exhibit those traits. That's the homework for this week. So
yeah, we thank the Lord for Martin Luther King Jr. and his bravery of standing up for what he did.
And the many men and women who came before him and continue on after. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Sizzly Steve, for joining me in the studios today for this holiday. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day to everybody out there, and we'll see you next week, as my kids would say.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Anna Vivo podcast. We welcome your feedback and ideas. You can learn more about us by simply Googling the word Anna Vivo. This podcast is supported by listeners like you. I am a licensed real estate broker with Compass Real Estate and a nationwide real estate matchmaker. We consult with you for free, find and vet the right real estate professional that specializes in the area and niche you need, are paid by that professional, and they get clients like yourself who want and need their unique specialty or winning track record. If you or someone you know is in the market to buy or sell real estate anywhere in the U.S., don't simply web search the highest paying advertiser. Let us use our licensed experience to find and vet the real and best professional for you. It costs you nothing but a phone call or email with me, and has saved my clients financially and emotionally. I'd be honored to serve, and you can reach me direct by email at tim.c.miller@outlook.com. And as always, to God be the glory.